What is going on, IBL fans? TenaciousFox here, and I will be your host for Week 4 of your IBL Pick'ems. Unfortunately, Mid-Pokemaster and I could not work out a time that we could record together, and I was so short on time that I couldn't find another replacement. So, with that, let's get into our first matchups of the week. First off, we do have the Baltimore Orioles and the New York Empoleons. Now, in this match, I picked the Empoleons mainly because I'm still not sold on the Orioles. Sorry, Ben, but even last week, even though he did get his first win last week, he didn't play all too well. He had to stall his opponent just to get a win. I don't see him being able to stall the Empoleons in this one. Now, Goldoa does have to worry about Ben's Regenerator Core, but I think he'll be able to hazard stack in this match and hopefully grind down some of those huge walls and just be able to clean up with his Mega Altaria. Because really, Ben's team has got plenty of mons that he can set up with Mega Altaria. I mean, Mew is one, potentially, depending on the set. Whimsicott, kind of. Alomomola he could probably set up on, depending on the set. So I do think the Mega Altaria is going to have a big match. As well as, if he does start grinding down that team, he's going to have the Terrakion that he can always bring in late game and clean up. Now, I think that's all that I've got for that match. Unfortunately, it's just going to be a one-sided opinion this week. But let's get into the second match we have for this week. We do have the Lawrence Talonflames against the Minnesota Golden Golduck. Anyway, I did pick the Golducks. Really, there's no reason not to at this point. They're 3-0. Even though I'm not completely sold on the Golducks being the best team in the league, they've been very highly rated in the power rankings. I'm not super sold on them just because right now the record of the teams they've gone against, I think, is like 2-10. Now, with having said that, he has still gone into each of these matches and been super dominant and taking care of business really well. And I can fairly say that the Talonflames will be the toughest team that they've played so far. But the Talonflames haven't played all too well either. And honestly, Trick Room Mega Camel just kind of can wreck his team. He doesn't have a lot to stop this. Now, Mudsdale maybe, like an EQ or something, but I don't think that even does enough. Empoleon is his only water type, and that's just going to get bodied by a Earth Power. Actually, it probably would survive in Earth Power, but you guys see what I mean. If he does that Trick Room team like he tried previously, I think it was week 2 that he tried to do some Trick Room stuff, but yeah, that Mega Campbell should put in some serious work here. Another thing that I noted is that Austin's biggest offensive threat in Megazord X can get countered pretty easily by FlameHorizon's Grand Bull. So it's just kind of a match where I see this, and there's no reason to pick against the Golden Golducks because of their fantastic start. But at the same time, they do seem to have a matchup in this one, and I just think it's going to be tough for Austin and the Lawrence Talonflames to overcome his team. Definitely to overcome the bulk, because he really won't even be able to set up with that Megazord X. He might be able to set up with something else, but with that Gramble being able to switch in and throw off some Intimidates, is going to be hard for him to get anything physical attacking. Now, I'm sure he's going to have some tricks up his sleeve, but that's just going to have to be something that we see. Okay, so the third match that we have this week, we do have the Pittsburgh Huge Powers and the New York XL Pikas. Now, first off, I just want to say that neither team has played all that well this year. The Huge Powers are at 1-2, and the XL Pikas are at 0-3. Obviously, Rio, I think, has played a lot better so far than KreselleKey, but I'm actually going to pick the XL Pikas to get their first win this week. Something is telling me that the XL Pikas are going to get their first win this week. Now, they've got plenty of offensive weapons. I've said it every single week. And one thing that I'm hoping that we see is the Mimikyu, we haven't really seen a lot of it, and it doesn't really have that bad of a matchup in this one, depending on the set that she does run. So I kind of expect her to bring it and set up and get some damage off, just kind of get some damage off with her heavy hitters early on, and then be able to clean up with something in general. And I also do kind of expect the Scarf special attacking Hoopa to outspeed the Mega Lopunny in this one, and just cause all sorts of trouble. So I do think that the XL Pikas are going to pull one out in this week. For our fourth match of the week, we have the Carolina Pantherians and the San Jose Panquakes. And I do apologize if I sound a little bit weird this week. I'm kind of fighting through my first cold of the fall season, so kind of sucks. But I do think the Panquakes are going to give the Pantherians their second loss in a row. But this I think actually could be the best match of the week. The Pantherians are really a few unlucky plays last week from being 3-0. But Techno, we all know this is the game we play. Stuff happens. It's unlucky. But overall, the reason I'm picking the Panquakes is not because they're 3-0, because both these coaches are really good. Like I said, Techno is a couple unlucky plays last week from being 3-0, so that the records here are just irrelevant. But I do think that the Panquakes do have a pretty good matchup here. Scolipede can put in some serious work, and where Scolipede is kind of weak, Zapdos can put in that work to cover it. Those two combined can really hit all of Techno's team pretty well. Combine that with Darude's ridiculous bulk and longevity on some of his mons, with the Wish Umbreon and what was the other one? And the Palisand. It's a really tough team to break, and with Scolipede and Zapdos potentially putting in work here, it's going to be tough for Techno this week, and that's the main reason I'm picking the Panquakes. Now, for our fifth match of the week, we have the Miami Malamarlins and the Marlboro Mudstales. Now, the Malamarlins are a brand new team. They just took over for Turk in the Chicago Cup View. So this is the first week we're going to get to see them in action. Kind of because of that, I'm picking Brendan and the Mudstales. I really don't have any prior weeks to go off of this pick, just because, this is Tone's first match. And one thing that I did note is that they kind of inherited a really short-handed team. Turk, he likes a lot of versatile mons, but he left some serious weaknesses in the team. And I think that that's going to affect the Malamarlins. Now, they were able to make a number of changes. Unfortunately, we didn't get a transaction video out for you guys, but they did make a number of changes. Superior Volcarona, Drapion is new. Seismitoad, Bronzong. Seismitoad is the biggest one that I see that it's a huge addition to this team, because before you could kind of just volt switch the crap out of this team. Another thing that I noted is that in this league, I've noticed that momentum is a big thing. I noticed it last year. I've noticed it a little bit this year. Obviously not as much this year as I did last year, but I think with the Malamarlins coming in 3 matches in, it's going to be hard for them to get the momentum in their first match. They're just going to be kind of like feeling out how the IBL season is going this year, and I think that does give Brendan a little bit of an advantage. Now, Brendan doesn't have the greatest options to deal with the Superior. That is, if Tone wins this match, I have a feeling that the Superior will be a huge part of it. Because honestly, Brendan he really doesn't have a lot of options to take care of it. Now, he does have some options, like he could have Poison Jab on the Garchomp, probably some kind of ice move on the Hypnochan or fire move. Roserade, a poison move. But of course, Superior is going to be kind of specially bulky. Zorark with Flamethrower. So he does definitely have options. I just don't... I think that Superior could be a problem in this one for him. Okay, so let's move on to our 6th match of this week. We have the Green Bay Pikachus against the New York Cosmogs. And first off, I just want to start this one off by saying I take back what I say about the Pantherians and the Panquakes, because that's not going to be the best match of this week. This match between the Green Bay Pikachus and the Cosmogs will definitely be the best match this week. Both of these early season heavyweights, they've been just kind of destroying their teams, the teams they played. Now, Jacob and the Green Bay Pikachus have played some teams that aren't doing as well, but that's not really going to be a factor in this one because he's looked dominant as well as Tyler has looked dominant. But I have to pick one of them. And this one, I think, could be 50-50. Anything could happen here. But I'm going to take the Cosmogs. Simply because Tyler has just seemed so dominant in this early season. He seems to be 2 turns ahead of every team that he plays. He knows what he wants to do early on. And he sets his team, he sets up the end game really well. Kartana doesn't have the greatest matchup here. Obviously, Jacob has plenty of options to deal with it. But Tyler is a great player, and I expect him to kind of carve out some kind of option with that Kartana. Mega Aerodactyl is coming fresh off of free agency, and it's going to have some fresh legs, some fresh enthusiasm, and it really does have a decent matchup here, so I think Mega Aerodactyl could be a big part in this. Anyway, moving on to, I believe, what is our 7th match. 7th match of this week, we do have the Colorado Mammothswine versus the Colorado Bouffalants. I am going to be taking the Bouffalants in this match. This one is really it's a toss-up. This is another toss-up for me. Eric, as I've said for the last couple weeks, has some really threatening weapons. Obviously he's got the Coco Lucha that, you have to be scared of that. You have to prep for it. He's got the Mega Aggron that can put in some work. He has the Alolan Persian that, he can just do a parting shot off and, set up with another Mon and really put in some work. However, he's made a lot of misplays in the first couple of weeks, and that's my personal opinion. I don't believe that he has been playing his best. I don't see any reason why that would just change in this week. If he was playing his best right now, I think that the Coco Lucha would be more than enough to get him the win. The reason that I'm picking JB is not because, I think he's got a matchup advantage, because I do think this is a really tight matchup. I just don't think that Eric and the Mammothswine are playing their best, the best Mons right now. That's the best way to say it. And because of that, I'm going to give him the advantage. Now, Mega Scizor gives the Bouffalants an option to counter the Coco as well as U-turn for momentum, which I think is going to be really crucial in this match. But I can also see a Special Nidoking putting in work here as well. A Scarf Special Nidoking at that. And for our final match of the week, we have the New York Metagross versus the Chester Chinchous. And I'm going to have to take the New York Metagross. Matchup aside, and I apologize if JoesephGames and the Chester Chinchous take offense to this, but they haven't won a match yet, and they haven't really even looked like winning. Like, at no time when I've been watching their matches do they seem like they're ever going to get momentum and win a match. I think that for him going forward, I really think if he's got a front office, I think they really need to help him maybe to change up their playstyle even, get some good insight from his front office. I just really think that he needs some help right now from somebody outside, because he just doesn't seem like to have a lot of ideas, and it's really hurting. It's really hurting his team. They just haven't really threatened to beat anybody, and that's why I really have to take the Metagross. Obviously, the Metagross have a bunch of options on their team, a bunch of scary options like Kieran Black and Venusaur, Mega Venusaur. But really, I hope I'm wrong. I do hope that I'm wrong. I hope that you completely prove me wrong, and you come out here and, sorry, Josh, but I hope that the Chinchows come out and pull off a 6-0 or something. But I do think they need a little bit of help outside of their own preparation. Anyways, that is all of the matches that we have for this week. I do hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time.